What is up, guys? It's Gunthug here, and I missed this match. I was actually playing in a different tournament, but I think I might know who won just based on the way the replay was posted. But I haven't seen the match itself, so I'm going to bring it to you semi-live just after the fact. We've got NikhilR, the GOAT, on one side. I always try to spec and commentate on Nick's games because I just feel like he's so thoughtful and purposeful with his moves. He's a great player. He's got great experience. He's played amongst the best. And so I think if there's something to be learned from watching DPP and analyzing DPP, I think Nick is a good guy to do it with. On the other side, we've got Matt, lavamathew as the tag he's using on Showdown. And here's what I know about Matt. Matt's a good player. He's a versatile player. I think this is his first DPP match this season. I don't know what his prowess or experience is in DPP, but the team, you don't throw someone at DPP up against the GOAT, Nick, if you don't even have any sort of bearing or confidence. So I'm excited to go in. I think it's going to be a competitive match. Let's go ahead and get it started. We got turn one, Tyranitar lead versus a Zelf. Right here, I mean, pretty much best case scenario, if you're Nick, this is the kind of lead you're trying to catch with a Tyranitar lead, and it's a common lead that you catch with Tyranitar. A Zelf, Uxie, both pretty common leads in DPP to kind of accomplish what you want, get rocks up, get a taunt off, and maybe get a U-turn for momentum. A Zelf is going to have to make a very tough decision here. I typically will just go ahead and throw rocks down here. The worst that can happen is they've got Scarf Tyranitar with Crunch. I love running Colbur Berry Azel for that exact scenario. But some people try to get sneaky here. Maybe they go for the taunt to prevent Tyranitar from getting rocks up. I think that's incredibly risky because if you taunt and it's something like Banded Crunch, I mean, or anything, any strong dark move is going to put you really, really low in the range where that sand tick knocks you out. You didn't even get rocks up. All right, so let's see what we get. We get the Scarf Crunch right off the bat, and he one-hit KOs. Just like I had said, that's kind of your worst case scenario. But I mean, if a Zelf is your lead, and your goal with a lead as Zelf is, I'm getting rocks up. There's very little that outspeeds me that can taunt me. I'm getting rocks up. I'm very curious on the item choice there. I think you just generally see a Zelf go with either a Focus Sash or a Colbur. If you don't do that, you leave yourself wide open to this. You've just complete. I mean, the only thing you've gained here is knowledge and a tiny bit of momentum. So Swampert comes in now on Tyranitar. You know what? I tell you what, it must have been banned. Because Scarf would have gone first, obviously. This is Scarf Tyranitar. Must have been choice banned as Elf. And that's I like lead choice band as Elf. It hits really hard. But if you have choice band as Elf and you're up against a lead Tyranitar, I think you got to play more cautiously there. And I think you have to think, man, if he's Scarf, I don't want to end up just completely playing this game 5-on-6. So Swampert comes in. He will still get rocks up. Actually, I tell you what, that's pretty strong waterfall. Let's see what we got. We've got leftovers on Rotom, which means it's definitely bulky. So that tells you a lot if you get a 45% waterfall on a bulky Rotom. Keep in mind, for all of my PokeMMO viewers, this is a ghost and electric type, even though it looks like the Rotom Wash that we all know and hate. But still, that's a lot of damage. So that tells me it's either scarfed, or sorry, banded, or it's just extremely heavily invested. I'm not sure we're going to see Stealth Rock come off of it here. Here comes Metagross, another candidate for Stealth Rock. Will-O-Wisp miss, but Metagross often carry Lumberry. May or may not have mattered. We'll see. Nick will be fine. He hits him with another one. He misses with another one, and we get the trick Iron Ball. Okay, so I think you're going to be able to say here those will-o-wisps mattered, right? I mean, if even one of those hits, we know he didn't have the lum, and so he gets burned. But now the tricky part is Rotom's got the Iron Ball, cuts his speed in half, and you're weak now to ground moves because Levitate is inactivated by that Iron Ball. Rotom comes in, maybe predicting the switch here. Good predict. Donphan comes out. Love Donphan in this tier. Donphan's been gaining some popularity of recent. It's a pretty good stealth rock / rapid spin roll compression Pokemon here. You can kind of get both of those things in, and you can run crazy stuff like Foresight so that you can even rapid spin on ghosts. You also have, I think it's Assurance is the dark move you can hit or run to hit Rotom and Gengar. Rotom hits the So I forgot to mention, Rotom is that Pokemon in DPP, by the way, that you're always looking at its item as soon as it comes in. And he brings in Rotom last turn. Rotom takes that Sandstorm damage, does not tick it back. You can almost guarantee that it's Choice Scarf Rotom. So Choice Scarf Rotom, Tyranitar comes in on it extremely easily. Shadow Ball, I'm sorry, Shadow Ball's the wrong play there. It's just absolutely the wrong play. You know he's got Choice Scarf Tyranitar. Even if he does not hard switch to Tyranitar, anything you do with Scarf Rotom, you get yourself locked into Shadow Ball, you've given up your Rotom. So we're guessing Pursuit here. Guesses correctly. There goes Rotom. Why not? I mean, there's no risk there. You go ahead and take it. Suicune comes in. At this point, though, here's the problem. Suicune's an incredibly threatening sweeper, okay? But you have not whittled down his team enough to make Suicune, to put Suicune in a position to be able to take this all the way. Jirachi comes in. Jirachi is just going to paralyze Suicune here, which at that point is going to really make it easier to revenge kill. Oh, or we get the Trick Scarf. That works too. Scarf comes in. Calm Mind comes in there. And Suicune is now essentially useless for the rest of the match. Swampert comes in here, eats a Fire Punch. Swampert's going to do pretty well here, Choice Band, but Latias is going to prevent this from getting out of hand. Clearly a bulky Lati here with that leftovers tick. Really eats that waterfall. We see this spam come in over here. Pretty funny. Suicune comes in now. Good predict, I guess, on the Donphan, but you've neutralized yourself. Here comes Surf. Again, specially defensive Jirachi with physically defensive Latias. Great combination, great synergy there. Surf comes in here, but Lati can just heal it off. This one, unfortunately, it is what it is. I think this is looking like a 6-0. At this point, you've kind of been sapped of a lot of your versatility here. Oh well, there goes the waterfall on Rotom. I guess he can afford to do that to kind of scout out choice band Swampert's moveset. Here comes Calm Mind on Latias. Probably, if I had to guess, I'm thinking this is a mono attack Latias. So you've either got Dragon Pulse. Some people run Psychic because you just don't really see Dark types outside of Tyranitar in this gen. And if you do, you got Donphan, which is a really good Tyranitar answer, and you got a couple other options too. So I'm thinking either Dragon Pulse, Psychic, could even run Surf, probably not though. And then that fourth move slot, there's some really interesting things you can use there. You can use Refresh, you can use Thunder Wave, you can use Whirlwind. I think it's Whirlwind or Roar, whichever phasing move it gets. So we'll see what that ends up being. And this is also okay. So it is Surf. It also could be 2 attack. It could be Draco Meteor Surf for all we know. He is going to bounce out though on the Metagross switch. Metagross explodes. Donphan's very physically bulky, but you're not taking that. Not in this gen where Explosion, I believe, drops your defense by like 500 or something like that. It's something crazy, maybe 100%. Ice Punch comes in. Again, Bandit on the Clefable. I think at this point, understanding, hey, I'm pretty much going to need a freeze here. Now, I will say, if you're Bandit and you superpower there, I think you probably KO. Ice Punch then would have obviously been expecting a switch from Latias or Jirachi, or yeah, Latias. Here comes Lucario. He's going to go ahead and close combat there. I don't think that he can afford to try to set up Swords Dance because you run the risk of getting paralyzed or something by Clefable. So he goes ahead and just close combats. Jirachi's going to come in actually, and it was Scarf, which means it's likely max speed. Suicune comes in. Matt's actually playing this pretty well now. I think he calmed down a little bit once he let go of a couple of his important mons, and he's forcing Nick to play this out. Lucario comes in on Lati. Lati, good move there. I think you're going to make Lucario have a hard time setting up here. Crunch comes in. That's never going to be enough. We do have a Lati that's faster too, even with some bulk on it. Probably outrunning Lucario on purpose there with its speed tier. Extreme speed, not going to be enough to finish off Latias. So here comes Suicune. Suicune's going to have to pick a move here, which is invariably just not going to be able to get it done. Plus the burn and the chip on the Sandstorm. So we did have the Dragon Pulse and Surf moveset there. So good game by Nick. I think he did everything he needed to do. Brought a relatively straightforward team. I like the Grass Knot tech on Clefable. Good, Matt played well. Like I said, I think Matt turned that around. I thought I had it pegged as maybe a 6-0, and then Nick maybe threw away his Rotom just a little bit there, knowing that he could, obviously. To scout out the moveset of Swampert. And you know what? I think it ended up paying off that he did that, he let go of Rotom because, you're able to keep that health on Lati, which actually really came in handy, was just able to chip away that Lucario before it did more damage. You do always have Choice Scarf Tyranitar, which either runs Superpower or Earthquake, which could have come in and revenged. But overall, good match. Glad we got it. Glad we got to see it. That was week 7, y'all. So we're almost at the end of the season. Not too many commentaries left. Appreciate you listening if you made it this far. And I will see you guys next time.